it's Michelle, and I've got a punch art project for you guys today that I think is going to be so much fun for Thanksgiving or really any fall holidays. We're going to do a turkey, and I have pulled out so many of my die sets to do this. You don't have to use quite as many dies as I did. We'll go over some other options as we go along, but I just kept finding some really fun things that worked so well for me, I just had to go for it. So for the body of my turkey, I've got this leaf shape here, and you guys might remember that from this leaf set here that I used for my punch art birdies, and you can see the shape of the birdie there, the way I used it in that. And I'm just going to turn it upright for a long tall body today for my turkey. And I've also got the smallest leaf of that same shape that I just turned this way for the little turkey's head. I think for the body I used this next to the largest one and the smallest for the head. And I will leave links to everything for you guys. And for the feet, I'm using these 3-pronged tree stem. You may remember this set here with the cartoony shaped treetops, and these were to be the tree trunks. That is such a cute little set, and that's the same one that I used also for the feet on my birdie punch art, and it's going to work great for my turkey too. So I've got the body and the head in brown, and I've got the feet in a craft cardstock. And this right here is my little Easter bunny from my egg die set. So most of you guys probably remember this set. I have used it so much, and these eggs have been sort of the theme of the year with me, I think, with my punch art. I've used them so much. And I actually had in mind to use that egg shape for the body of my turkey. And I still think that would work pretty well for a more cartoony looking turkey. So you can still do that if you like and make an egg-shaped turkey body. I think that would still be a lot of fun. And I'm going to use the bunny the way that I did on my penguins. Just for those little bunny ears to stick up and be a little twig of hair sticking up, just to add a little bit of character. I think it's really cute. And I really only had that cut out because, like I said, I was originally going to use the egg shape for the turkey body, so that just kind of became part of it after the fact. After I changed what I was doing for the body and the head, I still didn't want to give up that little twig. I thought it would still be cute, so I'm going to keep that. And here I've got a little raindrop in red, and that's going to be the wattle coming down beside of his beak. And that came from this set here that was just 2 clouds and raindrops. And I thought the raindrop shape was just perfect for that. But if you don't have that set and you're not able to order that set, you can just take a little bit of stickles or something and just sort of put that wattle on there with some stickles, or maybe some Nouveau drops or something with dimension like that that's going to stay on there, and just kind of draw it on. You really don't need that. I think I'm going to cover it with the stickles anyway, so whatever works and whatever you've got on hand. I've got some googly eyes here, really tiny googly eyes. They're about 1/8 of an inch wide. And then I've got a tiny, tiny triangle for the beak. And I'll show you how I did that also. I used this triangle punch here, which is still small but much larger. But what you can do when you put that in there and you see what it is that you're going to punch out, you can move this up and make smaller, smaller, and smaller triangles, whatever size you're needing for your project. And you can even come all the way to the tip like that, like I did, and make a very tiny one if that's what you need. And that's what I like about triangle punches. You can get any size triangle all the way up to the full size that it cuts out and anything below it. It's going to be a perfect triangle if you just slide that out a little bit, and I love to do that. It's like multiple punches all in one. And that brings us down to my flower shapes. And I don't know if you guys can see that little piercing around there. I thought that was really cute. These are going to be my turkey feathers. And that comes from this die set here. And it's sort of flower shape. You could even use a scalloped circle, which is pretty much what this is, just with larger scallops. Anything like that is going to work. Any sort of flower shape. You could even use a snowflake. Just get creative, and anything that's going to make that fan of turkey feathers is going to work. And I just used, starting with the largest one and going down, I used the 4 largest ones there. And I just punched those out in some fall colors that I thought would be really pretty for my turkey feathers. So I'm going to move a few things aside here while I start working first on my feathers. And what I'm going to do is layer these together, and you could just center each one on top of the one before and glue it right like that. But I think I want more of a dimensional look on mine. So I'm going to choose one petal that I'm going to call the bottom, and I'm going to line each one, the next one, down toward that bottom, right up close to those little pierced designs. And then the next one down low as well, the same way. And you can see how it's coming closer toward the bottom like that, giving more of a fan shape rather than just a flower shape. And I believe I'm going to put these on foam tape, and these are just my foam squares from the Dollar Tree. And just add foam to the back of that and peel off those backers. And again, I'm going to bring that down. I'm going to lift it up so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to bring that down right up to those piercings on that bottom petal, and then stick it down. And that dimension is going to add a lot to our fan feather effect also. So I want to keep straight in my mind which one is the bottom here. And I'm going to get my next size, which is my yellow one. And again, I'm going to pick it up so I can look straight on and make sure that I'm lining up with that same bottom petal. Bringing it right down to right before those piercings on that bottom petal. I'm going to put my foam backer on here, and you can see that was a piece of packaging that I used from a Miss Sparkle and Company. I saved some of that craft cardstock after I organized everything into my storage pockets, because I think that that craft cardstock on that Miss Sparkle and Company is the perfect craft color, and it's a heavyweight cardstock, so I salvaged some free craft materials out of that. Okay, so now pick it up again, coming right down to the stitching on that bottom one, and adding another layer of dimension. That's a lot of dimension on there. Okay, so now we're going to work on the turkey's body. The first thing I want to do is put his legs behind his body. And I'm going to want his body where he's really kind of sideways, I guess. I'm going to try to line up his feet according to that. And I kind of want to leave a lot of those sticking out because turkeys are kind of tall. They've got those long legs. And I'm going to get my art glitter glue and just raise that up. Put some art glitter glue on the stems of those and lay it right down. That way I get my placement just exactly the way I want it. And I'm going to try to go ahead and place that on there so that he's standing kind of sideways. And I want this, that was my bottom petal, to stay down toward the bottom. So I'm just going to hold it and put my art glitter glue underneath and then just put his head on. Just the tiniest little dot of art glitter glue right there on the tip of his neck. I'm going to hold that together with my tweezers. And I think that makes just the cutest turkey head. They've got those tiny little heads up on top of a long neck, and I think that turned out just perfect by the time we got that on there. So now for his little twig. I'm just going to put some art glitter glue on the head of the bunny and place that and hold that with my tweezers for a couple of minutes too. And when that art glitter glue sets, we'll cut off the rest of that that's sticking out. There we go. And it doesn't take long. Art glitter glue sets pretty quick. So I'm just going to go right around the shape of the turkey head there. And just cut off that excess, leaving his little twig. And I think that is so cute. It adds so much character. I really love that. Okay, so now I'm going to lay him down there so I can work, but his head is kind of up high in the air here. So I'm going to try to find something to put underneath him. Just put my bone folder under there to hold his head up. So I think the first thing I want to do is to place his beak. I think the placement of his eyes is going to be based on where his beak is. And I want his beak down kind of low. Get that turned just the way I want it. And press it down just slightly. And then I'm going to put a little bit of art glitter glue, just a dot, right over here beside of his beak. And that's where his wattle's going to be. And I'm going to place that. Okay, now for his eyes. I can kind of judge by his beak now where his eyes should be. And I'm just barely touching that art glitter glue on there. I'm going to pick up these eyes and place them on. And I'll have just a second to move those around before that art glitter glue sets. The red stickles on his wattle. So I'm going to start down here at the big end and taper it up into that top part. And one more thing, I almost forgot to give him a wing. You guys, I can't believe I almost forgot to do that. Which this still looks like a good turkey body, as if maybe he just had his wings folded down. But I think it really adds a lot to give him that wing, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I just cut that same leaf shape as I used for the body and the head. And this is the size in between. This is the smallest one here that I used for the head. And then this will be the next size up for the wing. And the size up from that is his body. And you can see the direction, that shape like that on our turkey. But what I want to do to make his wing, I think, to differentiate it from his body a little bit, is to flip that around. And I think that gives a good wing shape like that. That looks really nice. And I'm going to pop that up on some foam tape too. Again with my Dollar Tree foam tabs. And I just think one right in the middle of that would be plenty. And I'm going to find where I want that to be placed. I want the point up here to be right against the line of the edge of his body, right up here at his shoulder. But on the bottom point, I want it to stick out away from his body a little bit, as if he's got his wing opened up some. So just as soon as I get my placement the way I want it, then I can just stick that foam tab down, and that completes our turkey. I think that wing really added a lot, and I think he looks so cute. So you guys be sure to leave a comment below and let me know what you think of my punch art turkey. I think this was so much fun. And I think if you play around with the shapes of your punches and dies, you could come up with even more ways to make a punch art turkey. But I really am satisfied with this one. I think he turned out so cute. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give me a like over on my Facebook page. And be sure to join our Facebook group, Crafty Minds. You can share your crafts over there with us and take inspiration from a lot of the other crafts. There's a lot of good ones over there, so be sure to go on over and join. Also follow me on Pinterest and Instagram, and don't forget to visit my blog. I'll put the links to everything in the description below, so be sure and check them out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.